So naturally, we're gonna start the video talking about the swim portion. Now, I'm very blessed to live nearby an aquatic center here in Irvine. It's attached to a school, which threw me off at first, but it's like state of the art and it's part of the city's aquatic center. I guess that's how they maintain or pay for it, because it's humongous. There's 2 pools, there's tons of lanes, and Olympians train there, nearby colleges train there, water polo, swim team. And I got introduced to this by Jeff, my swim coach. It was just nearby for me. The cost adds up because it is $5 per hour per day. Now, as I progress in my training, the time that I'm spending in the pool should increase. Now, it varies among different aquatic centers. For example, in Cerritos, where Jeff has taken me, he used to lifeguard there, and it's like $3 and you can swim as long as you want. However, it's a little bit further for me. It's a lot farther for me. And you know, this is down the street and it's cleaner than an alternative like 24-hour fitness. But you know, if you have a 24-hour fitness membership or a gym membership that has a pool that has more than 2 lanes, then that might be an option. But for me, I don't have a gym membership. Kendall has a gym membership that allows her to bring in a guest. And so she'll bring me in if, you know, I'm unable to get to the pool that day, and I swim at 24. I don't prefer 24 just because the one near us is only 3 lanes, and there are times where I have had to wait. But the aquatic center, I know that at 8 o'clock, it is basically empty. I think 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, I used to swim that early, but I would have to share lanes, and I'm not confident in my swimming skills to be able to share lanes with somebody who's going a lot faster. And so for me, it's $5 per session, per day. And there's sometimes that I'll double up on sessions, but I try to go at least 2 to 3 times a week. And that's like the money I would have spent on food anyways, and I'd rather use it towards, you know, swimming in a clean pool. And yeah, you know, once we park, I'll show you guys all the equipment that I use to swim. All right, so we just got to the pool, and if you can tell right now, it is peak school drop-off hour. So that's the only thing annoying about coming at 8 o'clock is this is when it starts to get busy. People are dropping off kids. So yeah, Jeff gave me a couple of just equipment to use when I started out. This is a kickboard, some fins, and another thing, paddles. And so I'll use this throughout my training session to build up different skills. Since swimming is still new to me, I definitely recommend getting you some equipment. The kickboard at first, because I need to learn how to kick consistently. The fins help build that leg strength, and then the paddles help me learn the position of where my arm is supposed to be in the stroke. So those are some things. I bought this pool buoy. This is like 30 bucks. I think everything individually here is like 30, 40 bucks, that kind of range. And I have goggles. These are like 20 bucks on Amazon. These are just like the Speedo Vanquish. And then you can't tell, but I have these jammers on, and it's basically like swim trunks that make you more aero in the water, less drag. You don't want to wear like full-on board shorts, because the more fabric that you have, like, that's not tight to you, which means you're using a lot more energy to glide through the water. So I have jammers. These are like $40. I've lost a pair here before because I was in a rush and I left them at the showers, and I came back the next day and they were gone. But yeah, those are just like some of the basic, you know, equipment that you need. I got a swim cap. I don't normally use it, but when you're at the race, you'll wear one. So I don't want the race to be the first time I wear a swim cap. So I have that. And also when it gets colder and Oceanside is gonna be a super cold, you know, swim, this will come in handy. Now, I don't have my wetsuit with me because you don't need it to swim in the pool, but when we get home, I'll show you. So now, let's go get some laps in. All right, now that we're home, let's talk about the Roka wetsuit, what I use for open water swimming. This by far is the most important thing, in my opinion, when it comes to swimming and my training and my survival of triathlons, or the triathlon that I did. This is the Roka Maverick Comp 3 wetsuit. When I bought it, I got it on sale for $425 after taxes. I think it was like $460. But I'm going to tell you, it is well worth its weight in gold. Now, the number one rule that I will say personally that I go by, this is just my 2 cents, when it comes to buying equipment or something of quality for your triathlon experience is buy once, cry once, because there's nothing worse than buying something and then realizing, well, that didn't do what I needed it to do. So now you have to buy a better version. And then it would have been cheaper had you just done your research and gotten the correct thing the first time. But the wetsuit, I knew I needed to make sure that I got one of quality. And so the fitment is amazing. I got really lucky. That's one thing I will say. The theme of triathlon equipment purchasing is everybody sizes their things differently. So just make sure you look into the return policy and exchange policy. I think this was an extra large. Yeah, extra large. And it fits me perfectly. You want a snug fit. What I really liked was their shoulder technology. It's not very restricting when you're swimming. So I'm not using more muscles than I need to. I'm not getting tired. But yeah, this was worth its weight in gold. This kept me afloat. As for somebody that's not a strong swimmer, if I get tired in the middle of the ocean, which I did many, many times, I can just flip on my back or I can just calm down, and this thing pretty much kept me afloat. So again, this is their cheapest one. There's tons of other companies out there. I was just introduced to Roka, so I went with it. And, check out your local surf shops and stuff like that, or Facebook Marketplace. Keep in mind, people pee in their wetsuits. For me, I just wanted a brand new wetsuit. I didn't want to deal with any hand-me-downs. I didn't want to deal with any wear and tears and all that kind of stuff. I didn't know how people took care of them. I just wanted a clean slate. And that way I know for sure I'm taking good care of it. Next up is a swim buoy. This is super important if you're going to be doing open water swimming, which you should if your race is in open waters, which mine was. And so super simple to use. All you do is blow into this, inflate it, and then you clip this around your waist and you're good to go. Basically what this does is it makes sure that you're visible to lifeguards, to boats, to other people on the beach. In the event something happens, you're able to be seen. Ever since I started buying triathlon gear, I started going away from dark colors. For the bikes, all that kind of stuff, I try to stay as visible as possible. The swim buoy, that was probably like $23 or so on Amazon. I just got a generic brand. It came in a pack of 2. I gave Byron the other one, but definitely get a swim buoy. Now I know we talked about goggles earlier, but these are a different pair that I use for open water swimming. These are the ZNR G1 goggles. You can see they're a little bit different. They're polarized, they're anti-fog, and it just helps the glare when you're out there and the sun's shining on the waves, and these are another $23. So it's little things, but they do add up. And yeah, let's talk about cycling. All right, next up is our road bike. This is the 2019 Specialized Alley bike. I got it off Facebook Marketplace for $550. I didn't own a bike before. I owned a bike, but it was more like a cruiser bike. I am in the process of getting a brand new bike, and I'll be bringing you guys along on that journey. And all that entails, basically, we're gonna be upgrading massively for the 70.3. I mean, I got lucky buying this off Facebook Marketplace because it came with pedals. These pedals, I think, clip-in pedals are like $123. I ended up buying these water bottle holders for like 20 bucks. And thankfully the bike didn't need as much maintenance. We dropped it off at the bike shop for a checkup and it was good to go. I might just need new grip tape, but other than that, it's ready to go. I ended up getting this Specialized S-Works. I think it's Prospero 4s. These are $230 retail. I think if you buy any MIPS certified helmet, you'll be good to go. But yeah, the bike is pretty simple. I think just getting a bike that is sufficient is the number one thing. Going back to what I wish I would have known, I would have done a little more research and just have my $500 go a little bit further. But let's go inside. I'll show you guys all the equipment that I needed and that I stumbled through to be able to understand the sport that is cycling. All right, now let's talk about cycling equipment and apparel. It gets very nuanced, and I was doing a lot of research when I was getting into it. So hopefully this is a one-stop shop and it answers a lot of your questions. This is a cycling bib. Do you need it? No, not necessarily. If you're going to be doing triathlons, you'll have a tri suit. But for training, I would recommend getting a cycling bib. This is pretty much a super padded, you can see that, just there's tons of padding. It's a lot. Ton of padding for your long rides when you're training for a triathlon. No, you do not wear anything under this. It just goes straight onto your body, and you don't want to wear like underwear because it's designed to fit like skin tight. If you wear underwear, then you introduce chafing and all that kind of stuff. And so if you have a bib, you just put your bib on, and then what you wear on top is a jersey. This is a jersey. It's basically just dry fit aero material. The more flowy your clothes are, the more wind you catch, the slower you get. Same thing with the water. But this is a jersey. You can put your nutrition stuff back here, your phone, that kind of stuff. But you wear this over your bibs and you're ready to go cycling. I have cycling shoes from the time that I went to indoor cycling with Kendall. I think these are like $50. And these are not super fancy ones that like zip. These are Velcro. So eventually I'll be upgrading these, but you have to make sure you have the right cleats. Itself were, I think, $30 on Amazon. The shoes I got a long time ago I think it was like $50-$60. The bibs, these are the Specialized, that's the brand, Prime SWAT bibs. These are $270. Yeah, it's starting to get expensive. $270, and then the jerseys, this one at least was $250. Like I said, there are tons of others, cheaper options. These are just the ones that I've been recommended. Feel free to do your own research, but that is what I have for cycling. And I have these cheap sunglasses, just polarized sunglasses that I have for running, that I just use for my cycling, because when you're going 30 miles per hour down a hill, the last thing you want is bugs flying into your eye and impairing your vision. So I have that. So that pretty much wraps up cycling, and that leaves us to the run portion, which I think is probably the cheapest of the entire sport. For me, I've gone through a lot of running shoes, but I stick with what I know, and these are the Asics Gel Kayanos and the Asics GT 2000 series. Just for me, it's simple. It's not super expensive. Yeah, I really enjoy running in them. The Hokas, unfortunately, I get blisters. I haven't had issues with my Asics. So all you need for running is just shoes, and you don't need a gym membership. You can just go run outside. That's pretty much it. It's a lot of stuff, and I don't even want to add it all up right now, but it does get expensive. Yeah, that's not even to include the prices of entry for these triathlons. The Pacific Coast Triathlon that we just did in September was, I think, $230 or something like that. And then the Ironman that we signed up for in March of next year is $660. And so it's expensive, but if you do it right, at least for the equipment, you don't have to keep spending money on it, and it will last you a long time. And so I wanted to make this video and kind of just answer how expensive it gets to do a triathlon and to get ready for a triathlon. And yeah, hopefully that answers your guys' questions. I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. The response to the first video has been amazing. It's the most views I've ever, gone on YouTube, and something I didn't expect. And so I'm excited to bring you guys along on this journey with me as I prepare for the half Ironman in March of 2026, and then we'll go from there. It's an exciting time, and I'm excited to bring you guys along on the journey. We've been filming a lot here, or I've been filming a lot here. It's hard to film while you're training, but I have some really cool videos planned for you guys as I continue to go on this training. So thank you guys for watching. You guys know what to do. Please comment, like, and share it to anybody who may be interested in this kind of stuff. All that helps a small channel like mine. But thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.